United States, I mean, the whole commotion of being American is very special for me. I'm a proud father of two American kids, and I don't see myself career-wise anywhere outside. So 4th of July, it's special holiday. God bless America.
Hey, welcome everyone to another episode of ZAPTALK. And as always, I'm joined by the one and only Alex Zapp. Welcome, Alex.
Hey, Joe. Hey, Anna.
Good morning.
Good to see you guys all. Very cool.
Great to see you as well. And Anna, just a little background, just a little bit more about yourself. I guess I know you've had over 40 years of experience in the software industry. Just curious to dive in a little bit deeper with that. So welcome.
Thank you very much. And it's nice to connect with Alex again. It's been a few years since we've talked, and it's great to be networked again. I started off in the industry when I was 17 years old in 1962 as a programmer. I dropped out of college to become an assembly language programmer. From there, was fortunate enough to be involved in the early days of Oracle, the early days of SAP, and then the early days of consulting and systems integration work with KPMG and with HP.
Nice. So that's fascinating. I know some of the first programmers were all women. How did you get into it? 17, you just dropped that. Like, how did you just stumble into programming at 17?
I graduated. I loved math, and I graduated from high school really young. I'm Canadian, my family moved to the U.S., and the school said, "You're way ahead of all of us, so you're finished." So I went ahead and signed up at the age of 15 and a half, 16 for junior college. And California had a system, or they still do, a wonderful system of junior college. And signed up for courses, and this wonderful company came on campus called Pacific Bell, which is now AT&T.
Mm-hmm.
And we're recruiting this thing called programmers. And just wanted people, that enjoyed numbers and enjoyed the logic, and were giving tests and everything. And they offered me a job, and I said, why not? I'm bored to death with this. I'll join. And I joined, and it was probably the best thing I ever did. And I've stayed friends with many of the people from those early days. As Pacific Bell went through all the mergers and acquisitions and, really became AT&T.
So, you mentioned how you got started in programming, and I'm always curious to know how you know Alex. Everyone always has like an Alex story. I know you've met with him or worked with him in the past, but how did you first meet Alex?
The history goes in the Mercury, when Mercury when they've been acquired by HP. Hewlett Packard gave Mercury just a quota for partners to be grandfather, and they said that pick up the most, the higher performers. Those are only gonna be move the grandfather to be HP partners. Back then, we were Mercury SWAT team, so our specialty was delivering mission critical engagement for the products that been just released. We didn't have a sales quota. We didn't have a sales force. We've been kind of a partner subdivision of professional services organization. And therefore, we didn't qualify by book. So there was a gentleman, Nigel. I won't call the last names. Maybe he wouldn't like to be. But Nigel, I got an appointment with him. He lived in Texas at that time, I remember. He said, okay, the folks in the R&D and PSO said, this is a guy you want to talk to. This is our kind of unique positioning team. We want you to have a conversation. So I flew to meet with Nigel to Texas. I had only 1 hour slot to present my case. We ended up spending the whole half of the day and had a dinner together, and I flew back. So he made a special request to Anna, and Anna used to be SVP of Professional Services, right? At that time? All right. And Anna gave me special permission to ZAP to become HP partner. So Anna, I'm going to take my hat to you. So 20 years ago, because you let me do that, I was able to drive ZAPTEST. Thank you so much. It's a special moment. I appreciate it.
You're a really special person. You're extremely intelligent. You know what to do, you know where to focus, and so it's a pleasure to make contact with you again.
Appreciate it.
Writing scripts to test software in 2025, you're not automating, you're just maintaining. ZAPTEST is the only automation platform powered by AI that sees your app like a human and executes like a fleet of machines. It works across everything: web, mobile, desktop, API, even test RPA, including the legacy tech no one wants to admit they still use. And you stop being the executive fighting fires and become the one scaling transformation like a beast.
So, Onagh, I'm curious to know your take on AI since you started, I guess, was it punch cards or was it COBOL in 62 to AI?
No, assembly language.
That's right, assembly.
On punch cards.
All right. Wow, cool. So, what are your thoughts on where we stand now? Like, did you envision where we'd be right now with AI and all the technology, or any pros and cons you see to AI? What you hear, is it just a buzz or practical applications, anything like that?
I'm a really big proponent of AI. I mean, I strongly believe in it, and I strongly believe in investing in companies based upon an industry, okay? Because I think it can also be very dangerous. But, for healthcare, for, there's just a lot of applications that I can see really, really helping out with AI to make our lives better. And I mean, we're all worried about living longer. We're all wanting to be healthy. There's so many things AI can do to kind of help us research that and go forward. And I don't want to get off on a tangent, but where do I see it? I mean, I started in the days, I started with one of the very first software companies, which was called MSA. And they were based in Atlanta, Georgia. They hired me to be a technologist, to go out with the sales guys and deliver what the salespeople were selling, which was always fun, right? And this is back in the, a lot of my friends are on Facebook with me, so they'll end up watching this. But we all worked together and laughed, and they'd say, "Call Onagh, she'll make it work." As the code was falling apart and everything else. And I look at it and it was boring applications: general ledger, accounts payable, receivables, fixed assets, logistics. I always worked in back office. I look at it, I look at the progression I've been through, because I did, many years, good years with MSA, which was bought by Dun & Bradstreet. And then I ended up joining Oracle when there were like 150 people, and had no idea what a database was, and figured out what a database was, and was brought in to be kind of an in-house consultant to figure out how we sell this thing to a business, right? And ended up starting up in New York and New Jersey and Pennsylvania, the Oracle offices back in the early days. And then this German company came along and recruited me. And we were starting up a new kind of SWAT team group on the West Coast for a product at those days that was called R3, which was a client-server version of software. And that was good old SAP, which is, it just made my career. I mean, I think I've been involved with SAP for over 20 years, and it's where I really probably learned the industry and learned an appreciation for international software companies and for the talent there is in places like Russia and Czech Republic and Germany, for the technologists like an Alex, right? What I'm trying to do is explain to you, why I made an exception with Alex and his team, because they're just really smart, caring, loyal people when they figure out what the problem is. So now we go to AI and we look at all those things, and we look at how, through the years, we tried to make the software friendlier. We've always tried to replace people, which we're not supposed to talk about, right? Change management and all these lovely things. And you're sitting there because at SAP, we sold to the CEO and we sold to the COO. We didn't really sell to the accounting department because they hated us, right? And now you look at where we are today, and I wish I were 50 or 60 again, because it's so exciting what's going on. I mean, my approach now would be to go in and figure out the process that the client's trying to accomplish, just like ZAPTEST does with testing, right? But look at the whole process for the business and see how much AI can be used, and use the employees, especially the senior experienced employees, to verify, audit, and check, and not feel like they're going to be replaced, but that their knowledge is needed. So it's we're going through a real transition right now. I mean, I have a lot of younger friends in technology. My kids are all in technology. So we're always talking about this, and we're always talking about the good part of AI, right? I mean, how do you make accounts payable exciting? You don't, right? And how do you say, and Alex can probably remember some of the things that when we were at Mercury, I mean, Mercury was an incredibly good, sophisticated grouping of software to monitor what you were doing, right? But then I had the application experience in addition to that. So trying to explain to a CEO or a COO, you have to have both. You have to have the application, and you have to have the testing tools to constantly be able to work together. Now, how do you combine that with AI? I can think of lots of ways, right? Where you're now just putting statements together to do those things and search for those things. And what you've improved productivity, you've improved your bottom line. Again, I'm very excited about where it's going, but I would like to see people really apply it and not just talk about it, right?
Right. Love it. So, Alex, I know I've asked this question before from other guests, but I just need to know, like, from Onagh, what made Mercury so special? I know this isn't about Mercury, but a lot of people I meet, like Alex, came out of the Mercury ecosystem.
Yeah, Joe. I mean, Mercury had this para-Israeli, paramilitary drive-through, no BS, deliver results. Because in Israel, we had a different mentality for survivorship. You live among the zombies that may attack people at any time, and you genuinely on the watch what may happen, right? I mean, the kids been trusted with the submachine guns for 3 years of their service that they carry anywhere they're at. I mean, to protect civilians. So, bottom line, what I'm trying to say, not to militarize it too much, right? The mentality was oriented to the goals. Less corporate fluff, more what we can deliver in order to drive the truth, right? And that basically suited a lot of people in the contrast to other company cultures. And that's what delivered.
I did the MSA thing, I did the Oracle thing, I did the SAP thing. And then I was fortunate enough to be offered to become a partner at KPMG. And that was a big deal for me because I have so much respect for those firms, right? And I don't have a college degree. And I can remember flying to New York and saying, you can't hire me because I don't have a college degree. And what they wanted was the business experience, okay? So they had a client on the West Coast called Mercury, the audit guys, okay? And they were, Mercury was very complicated business-wise. The founders were all from Israel. The programmers, the really, really serious, good programmers were all in Israel. The U.S. was sales and marketing and support on, customer support. And then a few of the technology people, as Alex knows, would go back and forth. And it's public knowledge. They were very challenged with how to run business under SEC rulings and under American laws. Okay. They were the first company to backdate options and be in a lot of trouble for it. And KPMG was involved in trying to help them. So things kind of blew up. from an organization point of view because of the ruling, but the products were so strong and the products were so good and the people were amazing. I mean, I remember the first time I flew to Tel Aviv, which was an experience, right? I'm a Canadian and I'm an American and I'm also a permanent resident of Mexico. So I call myself a global client, a global person, a North American citizen. I land in Tel Aviv and they've got people with guns meeting me and taking me to the development center. And, you know, I mean, it's just like for this poor Canadian person, it's like, oh my God, what am I doing? Right. They were, you know, and there was one of the wars was breaking out and all the programmers were going to go off to war. And we were trying to meet dates for a client in New York City, which you don't mess with, right? One of the biggest clients we had. And you know what? Those men and those women, and it goes back to what Alex just said, if you really listen to Alex, the discipline they had and the loyalty they had to their country and to the client and the company was something I've never seen in all the wonderful companies I've worked in, okay? So when you do go back and you look and you say, oh, look at that guy's got Mercury on his resume, especially in Europe. I mean, they're very unusual good people. I mean, and I'm still friends with some of them and I still stay in touch with some of them because I respected their knowledge so much and I respected their discipline and what they did. So, and it's a shame that HP just, you know, paid a lot of money for the company, put it on the shelf, you know, kept focusing on other things. And Alex, I don't know where the poor product is nowadays. I mean, is it still sitting on a shelf in Palo Alto or is it out there now?
Well, I think I sold it out to some buyers, but I'm picking up the initiative.
Introducing the latest enhancement to ZAPTEST, the AI-infused recorder. This smart feature captures user interactions with any application and instantly converts them into structured test documentation within Plan Studio, followed by ready-to-execute automated scripts. Creating or updating test cases has never been faster. There's no need for technical skills or programming. Anyone familiar with the business process can now contribute. ZAPTEST.AI Copilot is always there, ready to generate scripts on demand, debug code, or answer questions in real time.
I have a mission to keep the legacy going. Incorporated a lot of lessons, of course. I've been blessed to be given opportunity by Mercury PSO to found the SWAT team and to found the very advanced skills and knowledge. I mean, me and my team were road warriors. I moved from Miami to Atlanta with 3 months old son, and I spent 10 years on the road to build this experience. Every week, I've been to different Fortune 500 companies. You remember how that'll go.
Yeah.
I had to put paper on the airplane. Nobody knew the product. I had to prepare myself for a kickoff meeting, but just reading the user guide. You know, I remember we had some deep diagnostic tools implementation, what's not. Some absolutely irrelevant product that hadn't been done. And all this experience that I gathered, I'm implementing today in the ZAPTEST. So this is why we can see markets slightly different. We can see the engineering need and the organizational need. I was more into the process. If you remember, I helped R&D and Mercury to design business process testing tool in 2005. That's basically I've been kind of very much emotionally involved with that. And what I'm doing today with ZAPTEST.AI, this is the Mercury 2.0, if you will. So I kept all the culture what we had during the Mercury days. I have my SWAT team now. We all distributed worldwide. I have Engineers Without Borders, but a whole motion, whole culture will remain. We kind of flow-oriented, no BS. I'm leading every implementation myself, helping my customers, always talking to the VPs and the CIOs what they need to build. We never hesitate to craft the product to where the company meet, like a final tailors, alteration kind of, because the 94% is shipped, but there's some elements that need to be customized.
There's so many answers to your question, and I kind of, if I had a wish, or if I could sit here and say, this is what I'd like to have happen in the next few years. If you look at the technologists that Alex has, I mean, I got to have a demonstration of the product a few weeks ago, right, with one of Alex's wonderful partners. And he loves the product, right? He knows the product inside and out. And if you kind of look at those kind of people, and that's what's made SAP successful as well, is the developers in Europe are just incredible. It's the same as the people that Alex is working with. You kind of look at all of this and you say, where's Alex going with the company? Because I said, Alex, what's your exit strategy, right?
Yep.
Alex has no exit strategy. He's going to work forever.
That's he'll live forever too, by the looks of him.
Yeah, and he's going to live forever. But you say, okay, how does Alex? I mean, I know he doesn't care about money, but I'm sure his family does. How does Alex make it bigger in the revenue way and the technology way? Because look at I mean, we can sit here and talk for hours about Microsoft and Google and Adobe and all the guys we've watched, right, and Oracle and SAP and blah 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 blah, right? And we can say there's the technologists, there's the sales and marketing, and then there's Wall Street, right? How I wish I could figure out how to help Alex get AI to a point where he is. I mean, I love his subscription model right now that he's got. I don't know how he makes money on it, but that's Alex's problem. How do we help him get to a point, or get the world to know how strong the logic is behind what he does and how critical testing is, and not turning it over to third parties, and not turning it over to, instead taking your own employees and helping them learn more about Alex's product, or ZAPTEST, shall we say, and benefit from that. I mean, Joe, like, what do we do to help Alex, right?
And
maybe Alex doesn't want to.
We're trying to promote it right here.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, what happened is we in a very critical moment right now in the corporate world.
Yes.
And as you said, people hesitant to talk about it because it's generates a lot of kind of dystopian mode. But we capitalist country, and we're driven by revenue. So we already see it quite quietly this year, but next year is going to be more loud as the severance package is going to run out and people going to be more desperate to find positioning in this world, right? So what I'm trying to say, I want to help community of testers and automation and overall the corporate implementers with automation to drive their productivity to more than it's considered to be normal. We already in the era of beyond, right? The speed of response by ChatGPT, by generative AI, this is a new normal. This is what expected from the information exchange. That's what expected from the people that responsible for this information exchange, and the productivity that's they're going to be delivering, justifying their positions. Make sense? So it's no brainer. It's going to start from you investor yourself, right? So how the conversation in the boardroom goes down. So everybody getting pressure. I talked to a lot of VPs, CIOs, they're looking for ways to optimize it. So what we do at ZAPTEST, we give them the once and for all, we reinvent, record, and play back. Remember Mercury days? We as a post-sales team always were battling that. Sales team promised all the record, playback, fairy tales, customer buying the product. They do the first line of implementation, it all breaks. we coming in and trying to juggle expectation with deliverables, right? So when I started ZAPTEST, being the rebel as I am, I told at that time, no record playback. Everybody thought that I'm crazy. I said no, because it's just a BS that we're wasting time trying to patch. So we're not going to have it at the beginning. We want to have expectations. So we're going to load all automation of the coders to the automators and give them a good tools that can run automation much faster. I created the algorithm of object recognition. We were first to do computer vision object recognition because the Quick Test Pro at that time could not recognize some mission critical technology like Adobe had, Flex and Flash. But when we exited, if you remember, I got a quota, I had to deliver, I had to sell, and I was throwing it for free, this add-on, when we were selling Quick Test Pro. But that it evolved with all this disparity and those crises, it evolved in the standalone product. So I've been always bold about technological solutions without the aligning to the trend, what is modern right now. But the point is, right now, we're the point when we have to reverse engineer. First time in my career for 30 years, I'm saying we're moving away from automators. We get moving back to the SMEs, to people that should own the process. The people those people be always neglected during the outlining of the efficiency, right? So nobody pay attention to the manual testers, nobody pay attention to the operational personnel. Everybody paid attention to the automators, because automators, those are the drivers of the productivity drivers, pretty much, right? You have to make a process much faster and reliable. Now we use AI to basically substitute this phase in the process. So we've, for a long period of time between the beginning of the testing as a discipline, we able to equip people that's supposed to drive the process with the smart technology that let them do it fully. So I call it record and playback reinvented. We reinvent the entire process. And here's a quick demo of what ZAPTEST.AI can do in terms to complement manual testers and the operational professionals to drive automation process. Let's take a few minutes.
Let's check it out.
ZAPTEST's popular Rec Studio just got a powerful upgrade. With a refreshed user-friendly interface and enhanced features, it's now easier than ever to capture your business processes and turn them into automated test scripts. Rec Studio still records full business process videos, but now it also captures every mouse click and keystroke, along with optional screenshots and user comments. Starting a recording is as simple as one click. Just follow the steps of your process. The floating toolbar lets you capture snapshots, add comments, pause, resume, or even narrate while recording. Every interaction with the application under test is documented. Video, actions, and narration, all in sync. You can also use handy hotkeys for instant access to key recording features. After recording, use Rec Studio to review and refine. Play back the video, manage comments, capture views from any frame, and inspect all recorded events. All recorded data is saved into a ZAP project file and passed to Plan Studio, where ZAPTEST.AI steps in. It analyzes the events and generates a detailed test case, complete with a name, description, action steps, screenshots, and expected results. From there, Plan Studio organizes test cases by function, identifies reusable steps, defines input-output parameters, and prepares the case for automation. Finally, with just one click, the test case is converted into a ready-to-execute automation script, fully integrated into your ZAPTEST framework. The renewed ZAPTEST Rec Studio speeds up automation and empowers non-technical users, like manual testers and business analysts, to take part in the automation journey. Fast, intuitive, AI-driven. Be happy, and let's zap.
You kind of wonder if there's a way, Alex, that you can help help a CEO or help a COO really understand in a shorter version how critical testing is and how critical it is to use the SMEs, just exactly what you're saying. I mean, I'm trying to summarize what you were saying, but it's the livelihood of the company, whatever the company does, to make sure that the products don't fail. And therefore, testing is, something that's going to be around forever. AI is not going to replace testing. Yes, AI is going to not replace. AI is going to improve the way you test, but testing is never going to go away. Whereas other applications are going to go away. I mean, I can remember Dr. Plattner, Hasso Plattner, who is one of the founders of SAP, saying financial applications will go away. And they will be replaced by groups of logic that do a specific process. And, here we are in 2025. He's absolutely right. And that's what's happening, right?
I love your insight because you're an investor. You're also an industry veteran. You heard Alex's pitch. How do you tell what is hype and what is reality nowadays, though? Between, it sounds great. Alex comes off very, very credible, but how do you know? You must get pitched all the time. What is real and what's not when it comes to AI?
Well, the first thing I did was tell him that I wanted to talk to his developer and not have him on the call.
Okay.
And, show me the software, right?
Yep,
and the software is for real. I mean, but not a lot of people are going to do that. That's just the way I am.
Right.
But, there's testimonies that I think could be done a little differently than what Alex is currently doing, just to provide more confidence to people, because Alex is too good to be true.
Mm-hmm.
Is what a CEO is going to say, like, oh yeah, that guy.
He's a big personality too. So.
Yeah, he's a big personality. That's great. Blah blah blah. But where's the bottom line? How's it going to help my bottom line? Right. That's all they care about in the boardroom now.
Right.
Is the bottom line. I mean, look what's going on in the world. Right.
Right.
And ZAPTEST could be all over the world helping people with a lot of these things. If you find the right opportunity and the right way to present it.
So, but once again, along those lines, though, you mentioned, you wish you could be 50 now. Most people would think, I wish I was 30, because I'd rather go back in time and not have to deal with AI, but because a lot of people are worried about AI. You said a lot of your relatives are in the technology field as well. Do you see an actual shift in the job market? Should people be worried, or should they just embrace AI like you've been promoting?
I think if you're over 45, you're extinct.
Oh.
In Silicon Valley. I mean, let's face reality. I mean, I'm watching my kids and my grandkids, right? Yep. My grandson just turned 30. He graduated from ASU in large data management and logistics. And he's in the right field, in the right place, right? And loving consulting and loving doing what he's doing. We as parents, as grandparents, as citizens of the world, should be reaching out and helping more of the younger people understand where the future is and where they should spend their time and their efforts in studying and in taking action for their own lives.
I absolutely agree with you, Onagh. I talk to a lot of people, and they kind of people that understand that I'm a little bit more ahead of the AI and kind of try to look into the future, right? I'm saying, and it may sound a little bold, but I don't believe in the college education anymore. I'm telling kids, learn prompt engineering. No matter what you're going to be doing, you're going to be in the art, you're going to be in the science. Prompt engineering, it's a new way of driving through all the intellectual endeavors, if you will, right? So again, Yuval Harari, I'm a big fan of this guy, and one of his book, Amadeus, he's finishing with a very powerful statement. He's saying we're moving into era, and we're talking almost 10 years ago when I read this book, that we're moving into era where we won't be able to teach our kids much, because their experiences will be different than ours. But what we can teach our kids, not too afraid of change, be adaptable. Makes sense? And we right now in the change. Our generation of humanity never experienced such a tremendous and rapid change of the everything. I mean, majority of humanity don't feel it yet. We, being a technology evangelist, being the AI first people, we grew up and build our careers in the cloud, which you cannot feel until it gets down to the ground, right? So we're still in the cloud in our professional achievements and how we acquire basically reality, how we comprehend reality. But this is what I would recommend for kids to do. Just align to what's coming tomorrow. Don't worry about yesterday. Be in a present. Do what you can do today. And our kids, as a matter of fact, as you said, have an amazing opportunity to learn the new skills that we don't have, that our generation don't have, and present it to the market. Not to wait for a recommendation to do it old way. Don't afraid. Just drop everything. Take the OpenAI classes online on the prompt engineering, on building the AI products, and thrive through that. And yeah, something like that. It has to be unorthodox. It has to be different. The room of opportunities will be much lesser.
Yeah. But they're different. I mean, my family just had a birthday party for me to celebrate my birthday, right? My 80th birthday. And it was really interesting. 4 of the grandkids were able to make it. And they're all in college, right? And they're all in various, they're 18, 19, 22. And it was incredible to see them working on papers and using AI and not thinking a thing about it. I mean, they're just, hey, because I sat there and said, what do you, oh, grandma, this is how we do our research. This is how we put our papers together. I think of myself, imagine being a professor and trying to figure this out, right? And then, but, I have a 22-year-old grandson who's legally blind and has gone to wonderful schools, small schools, and just graduated from Lewis and Clark in Oregon. Oh. And he moved to Germany. Huh. He picked up and moved to Germany, and he wants to live in Germany for a while, and he wants to experience Munich and find an intern job, and he's majoring in economics, right? So his use of AI to me was so impressive, and the conversations with him were so impressive because he understands the world better than most people our age, and understands from an economic point of view what's going on in things, right? And he said, "Yeah, Grandma, you sit in a room with a professor and all these students, but what you really do is you research yourself using AI, right?"
Well, Grandma has a favorite. So what's
no, I got a whole bunch of favorites. I got a bunch of favorites, but I have to be careful what I say. So I love them all.
That's awesome. So speaking of how he's going to Germany, I know as we release this episode, it's going to be around July 4th. One of our most popular episodes was with Alex talking about coming to America and his journey there. So Alex, just like a brief like homage to America, maybe why you came here, to that episode. I'll drop a link to it in its entirety. Like, what makes you think of America on July 4th? What do you have? Your personal story?
And you should ask me the same question.
I'm going to. That's definitely a follow-up.
We're both foreigners, right, Alex?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a Jewish kid that's been left in Soviet Union to grow up. I mean, my dad's family were political dissidents, and the Soviets let them out in the 70s. They all ended up in New York, and my dad decided otherwise, so he went to Siberia to help Soviet to develop oil. He was oil executive, and me being a little kid growing up in the Siberia, so you understand, it's like Alaska with no supplies. It's like North Korean version of Alaska in the 70s, right? You have one bubble gum for a whole class to share, something like that, where it's filthy poor. But the point is, when I had a chance to come to the States, I appreciated the most. And I have a special moment. I mean, I used to be like a Pinocchio who wanted to become a human, right? So I was like a Russian raised kid and who wanted to become an American. But I remember it was 2011 in Austria. We had a HP, one of the first, not actually first at that time, but it was one of my first European conferences. And it's ended up that it's appeared that I was the only U.S. partner that's been representing ADM set of tools, like testing tools and what's not. And at the end of the ceremony, when they were closing, they gave me an honor to represent United States as a partner. And that was a special moment for me. I mean, understanding that you recognize already as an American engineer and United States, I mean, the whole commotion of being American is very special for me. I'm a proud father of 2 American kids, and I don't see myself career-wise anywhere outside. So 4th of July, it's a special holiday. God bless America.
I would say, I mean, I grew up in Canada. I left Canada when I was 15 years old. I would never have the opportunity in Canada that I had in the United States to have the career that I had and the opportunity that I had in technology. America just, I know we've got all kinds of issues right now, but this is the best country there is. I mean, there's no other place to be where you have so much freedom to explore democracy, to develop your own company, to do your own thing. I mean, I'm where I am today because of hard work and being in America and having the opportunity in America for entrepreneurs to identify something in me that I didn't identify. So I became American citizen about 10 years ago, and it was very emotional. I was in San Francisco and, standing there pledging allegiance to the flag and feeling very emotional about it that, I have 3 beautiful children who are American. I've got a whole bunch of grandkids that are all American. And I'm lucky to be in the country, and I'm lucky to have the freedom right now to travel the way I do.
And I love it. 2 people not born in America, I think, really personify or really are examples of what America is, which I think is telling as well.
Yeah. My mission also, have an international engineering crew to educate guys on the American culture, how we do business, how we treat people. The same, I have friends who own the similar businesses like I am, software companies, and the way they treat their teams and their jurisdictions, it's absolutely different. Our culture, our etiquette of, I always say, we have a higher standards for anything we do.
Yes.
And that we have a responsibility as American executive to set the standard, to keep it up, right?
Exactly. I totally agree. Totally agree.
Love it. So I guess, Alex, time to wrap it up. I guess one quick shout out to a little more about ZAPTEST.AI, one-click process where you're calling record and playback reinvented. I'm not sure about that marketing, but your last pitch for it, we'll have a link for it down below as well, and maybe your catchphrase to end things.
Right. So again, I want to invite everyone to take a look at the all record and playback reinvented. So that will help organization to keep the drive to optimize the productivity with the personnel that they have, the people that they value the most, the people that know the corporate processes, they know the corporate culture, that loyal to the corporation, that stayed with them for many years. And today we're given the industry opportunity without any disruption to continue driving the automation for all discipline, for DevOps and BizOps, and keep it seamless and very high ROI. So book a demo with us. Let us show you what it is. We have a 6 months proof of concept. We're not charging anything. You're free to walk away if you don't find the value. This is how confident we are in what we do. And as always, be happy and let's zap.
Meet our Alex Zap avatar, your AI-powered automation agent, ready to answer your questions in real time. Want to know how ZAPTEST can optimize your business? Need insights on automation without scheduling a call? Just ask our AI agent. No wait times, no commitments, just instant expert answers when you need them. Chat with our Alex Zap avatar now and get the answers you need on your time.